What's up, homegrown filmmakers? Merry Christmas! It's Annie here with another vlog, and today we are talking about story and conflict. So sorry it's been so long since I've posted a video. Two things happened. We made a movie. It's called Countdown, and you can watch the short 3-minute version here on our channel. We're still working on getting the long version up, which will be closer to 10 minutes long. We shot that in August and then went straight into our other big event of the year, which was a wedding. Congratulations to Rachel and Max. We were so busy getting ready for their wedding that absolutely nothing related to film was getting done. After the wedding, we jumped straight into post-production for Countdown, and that's pretty much been the big project since. So anyways, I'm back to making videos. Hopefully I'll have more coming your way soon. Today's video is just me talking at y'all about my favorite subject, story. A while back, a couple people had asked for a video about the writing process, and I have been hesitant to make one because I am not in any way, shape, or form an expert on writing. It's something that I need a lot more practice in, and I'm just beginning to understand how much I don't know about it. That being said, I thought I could share with you guys a little bit of what has worked for us and how I prefer to think about story and plotting. So, once again, I'm not an expert. This is just how it makes sense to me, and it could be completely different for you and how you think. With that, let's get started talking about conflict. Story is built off of conflict. You don't have to study very far into the subject of writing to discover that. The more conflict you can add to every character, every scene, every dialogue creates a stronger piece of writing. Human beings do not agree with each other. We all want different things, think different things, and go about life differently from each other. Conflict is always happening. Films without conflict feel fake and contrived because they don't actually follow the reality of life. With that being said, you can't just go adding conflict willy-nilly with no purpose. It will feel random and be impossible for your audience to follow. So, you need some guidelines. On the surface of every story, there's external conflict. This type of conflict is very obvious. Good guy versus bad guy, man versus nature, guy versus girl. This is a struggle in the physical world. It's out in the open where there's actions and dialogue. Every story should have external conflict. Films would be pretty boring without it. It's easy to observe and create. What I really want to talk about today is inner conflict. Inner conflict is integral to a character-driven film. This is any conflict that a character is having within themselves. Wikipedia says it is usually an ethical or emotional question. Although it's different from external conflict, it's not contradictory. The two types work together to bring the story to life. It's the inner conflict that helps you guide the purpose of the conflict, to avoid having random willy-nilly conflict confusing your audience. It gives your entire story a through line to follow. It does this through the form of central character conflict. Any character can have inner conflict, but the central character conflict is always the inner conflict of the protagonist. Often he or she can't even see that it is a conflict at the beginning. All they see is the external conflict, their enemies, unfortunate events, life just going wrong. Eventually, they can begin to see the conflict within themselves and hopefully find a way to resolve it. I know this is all somewhat vague, so let me make it more clear with an example. A Bug's Life. Classic Pixar film with a great message. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it now. Or at least watch it before you watch the rest of this video. I don't know how much sense my explanation will make without having seen the movie, and also, spoilers. The protagonist of A Bug's Life is, of course, Flick. He's a sweet and brilliant ant. However, nobody in the ant colony likes him because he keeps accidentally destroying things with his crazy ideas and inventions. When his actions bring the wrath of Hopper down on their little colony, Princess Ada sends Flick away on a crazy mission to get some big bad bugs to fight the grasshoppers for them.
You see, with Flick gone, he can't mess anything up.
There are two external conflicts set up here. Two enemies Flick has to face. The big one is Hopper and his threat to enslave all the ants. While he's trying to stop that from happening, Flick is also having conflict with his own colony. He has big ideas of how to stop Hopper, while the rest of the ants cling to their set and safe ways of doing things. These external conflicts are events and things that are happening around Flick, circumstances that he is struggling with. His inner conflict is the lens through which he views those circumstances. So what is Flick's inner conflict? It's about acceptance. He wants to prove himself to everyone, especially Princess Ada. He needs to be accepted by them and truly become part of the colony. Conflicting with that, he wants to be himself. He's not like all of the other ants. He's curious and inventive, and he has so many ideas to help make all of their lives better. He's not willing to give up that part of himself. So, within the character, there are two competing objectives. Conflict. Let's think about the events of the film through Flick's lens of needing acceptance. Every action he takes in the film is an attempt to gain both of his objectives. He tries to show the colony how wonderful and useful his inventions are, hoping that they will come to love and accept him that way. When that backfires, he leaps at another chance to prove himself and be the one to get help for the colony. He finds the circus bugs, and they agree to help him. Against all odds, he has seemingly saved everyone. But right when he is starting to be accepted, Flick finds out he made a terrible mistake. The circus bugs aren't warriors, and they aren't going to stay to be killed by Hopper. Looking through the lens of his central conflict, this is his worst nightmare. Everyone will know he messed up and will never trust him again. So, he makes a deal with the circus bugs. He'll come up with a plan to stop Hopper without them. Until then, the circus bugs will keep pretending to be heroic warriors. Everyone loves Flick for bringing rescuers, but he's nervous, upset, lying to those he cares about, and running around like crazy, trying to make sure it doesn't come crashing down on his head. He comes up with a brilliant plan to stop Hopper, but he passes it off as the circus bugs' plan, giving up being recognized for his work. He's flip-flopped back and forth between his two objectives. This inner conflict is never overtly said in the film, but you can see it by paying attention to what drives Flick's character, why he makes the choices that he does. Can you see how that drives the story? So let's say he had a different inner conflict. The movie would be really, really different. If his conflict was about fear, how would he be reacting to the circumstances of the external conflicts? He would be afraid all the time. He would be trying to get out of things, advocating to do the safe things, letting other people step up, trying to convince himself that he was happy where he was. What if his conflict was about anger? Would he be angry at the colony for rejecting him? Would he try to take revenge on them? Would he try to take over and change everything to be the way he wanted? There's many crazy directions it could go, all depending on what that central character conflict is. Examples of central conflicts in other movies are The Jungle Book. Mowgli is curious and yearns to find out what being a human means for him, but he's also scared of it, because all of the animals are scared of humans. The Wizard of Oz. Classic, simple example. Dorothy wants adventure, but it turns out to be dangerous and not what she expected. Conflict. Big Hero 6. Hero wants love and family, but he also wants revenge. How to Train Your Dragon. Very similar to A Bug's Life, actually. Hiccup wants to be accepted, but only as himself. Tangled. Rapunzel wants to see the world outside her tower, but she also loves and respects her mother. Any good movie will have a central conflict. It adds reality, layers, and depth to your protagonist. So next time you're watching a film, take a moment to think about and dissect what is driving the characters to make the choices they make. You could learn a lot about story. That's it for today, but next up I'll be talking about character choice and how to start building the external conflict around the inner one. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I will have more videos about story coming out soonish. So if you would like to see those, hit subscribe. We are Rogue Zohu Productions, a company created by two homeschool families. I'm Annie Pulling, your host. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. You know, y'all, I was making the list of other central conflicts, and I really wanted to put a Disney princess movie, and I came to realize why I don't like Disney princess movies. They don't have internal conflict very much at all. It's all external conflict. Frozen. Two sisters conflicting with each other and everyone around them. Elsa seems to be struggling within herself, but we're never really sure what it's about. Oh, I just had another idea for a video. Sleeping Beauty. Aurora has constant conflict with her fairy godmothers and then with Maleficent. No inner conflict whatsoever. Snow White. Snow White has conflict with the evil queen, then briefly with some dwarves, then with the evil queen. Cinderella has conflict with her stepmother and stepsisters, and then with a clock, and then with her stepmother. Mulan is a bit better, hence one of the better princess movies. She does seem to struggle against herself in the beginning, but once she joins the army, she's really only in conflict with everyone else. Little Mermaid. Ariel struggles against her father, and then against Ursula. No inner conflict. Beauty and the Beast. Okay, there's a reason why this movie was widely considered the best Disney princess movie until Tangled. Belle actually has internal conflict. She loves her father, but she also comes to love her home in the Beast Castle and the Beast himself. It's not a huge internal conflict, but hey, it's there.